So today we are here with our customer use case wherein we want to share our experience based on the migration achievements or the strategies what we did to achieve the Oracle equivalent performance in Postgres. Yeah. So coming to myself, I'm Sai Krishna Namburu, working at AWS for more than 6+ years, doing homogeneous and heterogeneous migrations, both from SQL Server as well as Oracle commercial databases to Postgres, helping the customers in large scale migrations as well. So with me, Pranav.
Hi, I'm Pranav alongside of Sai. I've been part of AWS for past 2 years. Right out of college, I got placed here. It's been an incredible journey. I was part of data team in whole, starting from data lake, data pipelines, ETLs, and then even a database part. So I.
So basically, right, so we would be covering our agenda. Mostly it would be the introduction, what is the customer, what is their background, on which database they are currently, what are the business challenges. Coming to the business challenges, what we had, or the customer where he was looking to migrate Oracle, right, Oracle to Postgres or any open database. So we'll come across a few of the challenges and what are the migration stories we had. Like they had a large fleet of customers, wherein 40K customers globally. So how we migrated and what are the challenges we had and what are the final results, like we mostly see, right, what are the results of this particular engagement or the customer assignment, right? So there we come across the results and what are the interesting part we came across. And coming to the final one, the key takeaways, right? With this heterogeneous migrations, mostly what the customer could be benefited getting out of the commercial database and how, in terms of his opinion, right? So most of we working on commercial databases, we try, or what we call, don't dare much to come into the open source, having some of the gotchas, right? So those all we'll be covering there. Oh, okay. Yeah. So coming to the customer, as we cannot reveal, so it's globally having a footprint of more than 40K customers, where their network provider, right? He's mostly into a connector platform provider. His customer base is globally established, and as we see that globally customers, right, they need high performance solutions, wherein security is one of the key areas, right? So having that, we need the database to be more performant. So their customer database or the build, right, entire build is consisting of Oracle database, right? And coming to what do you call, yeah, as I said, they are currently running on Oracle database. And the last part, right, which is interesting and where we had some challenges or the things where we need to look into multiple areas, right? The UI or the control security is being toggled from the UI. So if they have a user who is non-DBA, they would be toggling to a regular user with low permissions, as in. So the same SSL securities would be modified in the database layer. So that is one of the critical challenges we had, and we'll come up where how we overcome that particular thing in the Postgres, right? Yeah. As we want to have a disclaimer, this is only our customer use case. It's not applicable for all the Oracle to Postgres migrations. Yeah. So coming to the existing challenges, what the customer is having, right? So as I said, they are a globally well-established company and as well as a Fortune 500. So their customers base is nearly 40K. Definitely, I mean, the trust would be the main area wherein they need very less downtime, even if they want to migrate to any commercial to what you call open source database, right? So first thing is the cost. Definitely, due to the Oracle licenses, they are having an annual spend of $3 to $5 million. So that is a key area they are looking for a open source migration. And then, like I said, their solution or the functionality can be deployed across multiple customers, VDIs, so that it would be a plug and play kind of thing. Even we don't have an internet, so the logs would be captured. So that is their internal functionality. So there they want a lightweight deployable solution so that it should not take much time in deploying or installing the database or bringing the application up. So that's the main area where they're looking for a lightweight deployable solution. And third, the most is the open source. So adhering to the first point, right, how they can reduce their Oracle license cost. So they came up with Postgres having the latest features and other areas. So coming to that, the next thing is the performance, right? Definitely, I think most of them, how many are from Oracle background? Okay, so I see at least, yeah. So the customers are nearly 20 plus and 30 plus experience in Oracle database. So they would be seeing through the Oracle lens, correct? So if that is running at 5 seconds, so they will definitely expect the same thing or less in Postgres or the other database. So that is the main area where they were expecting the similar or better performance than Oracle, right? So it would be definitely challenging for the initial phases, but coming to the exact point or the use case of the customer, we'll come to the next slides, how we can, how we resolve that particular issue, yeah? And yeah, coming to the migration stories, like I was saying, right? So these are the main areas. We have 5 areas wherein the DB connectivity, how it's been handled from the UI, toggling the users and the SSL connection, right? And they're using the DB links, which would be converted to foreign data wrappers in Postgres, right? And the main interesting part is the Oracle wallet, right? So they're just using the commands SQL plus with some @user, that's all. So the password is not being stored or it's not used anywhere, so it's encrypted. So that's the main area we found. I mean, we don't have equivalent in Postgres, but we came up with alternatives for the Oracle wallet, right? And the SSL encryption, as I said. So we did some automations around that to adhere to their functionality, that if a user being toggled or changed his permissions, that would be automatically updating the SSL parameters in the pgconf file, right? And the next important part is the performance testing, like I said, right? So they currently have some fleet of application queries running, or what you call, based on their AWR reports when the instance or what they call VM is getting rebooted. So every time they have a bunch of shell scripts running, it would check all the, like in Oracle, right, we have the memory, whether it's an SGA, PGA, so those all memory parameters it's gonna check, and also the table spaces cleanup. So there are a lot of cleanup scripts manually written to what you call bring the application up and have the functionality performant on the DB, right? So those are all the things we need to have the replicate, or what you call replacement in Postgres. So that is also one of the key area, application queries, and obviously they're going to use the AWR report to get what are the key areas to focus on the low performant or high consuming services, right? And the next one is the backup and restore. If they want to replicate this particular,
yeah. What is AWR report?
Oracle based AWR report. Yeah, so it provides entire what we say system configuration or the current snapshot of the existing resources as well as the queries, which is taking a long time. SQL, we have a section. We're not into other areas, but it provides the SQL based on the elapsed time. What are the top queries and what are the top consuming queries? So those all details would be there in the. It's a consolidated report.
It's like PG budget report, right? If you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So that is what we call. If they get any ticket or any issue, right, troubleshoot. So they directly just go ahead run the AWR report for the first time and get all the details. How is the system behaving at that time? And what are the queries or the reasons causing that performance degradation, right? So similarly, they were asking, I mean, initial phases, right, they were just asking, provide us some alternative for AWR report, right? So it will be hard. We showcase that, oh, we have PG audit, PG badger, right? And everything, but they are in that area, they cannot correlate with AWR report, definitely, right? So based on that experience background, so we try to do some automations to get some what you call similar kind of reports, so that they will at least have some steps to debug. So where it went well or where it went wrong, right? Basically for the support guidance, right? Okay. So these are the other areas, like I said, right? So they have some shell scripts which are running continuously, hourly, daily, and with some frequency, or on ad hoc basis as well. If some node is down, so they're gonna run this particular maintenance script to check if they have the enough space, storage available or not to reboot the machine, right? And even to have the locks of the database or the backup of the database, everything, right? So those are the different shell scripts which are nearly 100 plus, right? And coming to the reporting and routing, as I said, right? So if a customer reports that this particular, their solution is not working or it's on halt state, these guys will ask for the AWR report and what you call the AWR report. With that, they're gonna do some debugging things, right? So reporting is also a key area where we want to have some pointers, get some things what you call real statistics and also the logs to be captured. So we use PG audit, PG toolkit, which is a custom script which we develop, or what you call gathered all the information from the system metadata tables, and then have that PG toolkit so that it will resemble the 50% or the 80% of the AWS report, like elapsed queries, right, or top running queries. So those all would be covered as part of use in the PG toolkit. So we created that PG toolkit. I think we have author there, Rajesh. PG toolkit, right? You want to add something? Okay. So that PG toolkit, we have a custom automated script which gives us different views. So if you want to run top queries consuming the resources, similarly different types of views, we just say select star from that view, we get the queries and the other metadata, right? And one interesting thing is that obviously we know about the PG Badger. It runs on the PG audit reports, but we need some automation to run the audit reports, right? To go through that particular log files. From that log files, we'll generate a report, right? So the thing which we used is the PG stat monitor, a report, which is again a metadata tables which contains data, real-time data. It is bucketized, right? So that we can split that bucket into 1 day or 2 days. So in that fashion, Pranav, if you want, you can add 2 points on that PG stat monitor.
Yeah, I'll take it from here. So yeah, this migration is what we want to portray in this presentation is what are the challenges and what are the things that we in this migration.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So in this migration, what we did on top of the normal migration process, when you talk about Oracle to Postgres, so we're not here to talk about the idle Oracle to Postgres, how to convert the schema. We just want to talk about what are our takeaways and what are things that we did on top of to align with the customer's requirement, right? So here that we want to highlight is that we have created and we have integrated multiple database administrative task in one CLI menu, as you can see, unified CLI menu. So this CLI menu acts like a one show stop for all the database tasks that you can think of, right? So it starting from your corruption checks, database corruption checks at a database level, which uses PG AMP check. Second, we have a report generation capabilities. I'll come to what kind of reports we are talking about here, but there are many reports that we'll have a double click on in the coming up slides. And then you have an option of data statistics refresh that actually refreshes your database statistics at the table level, and many other maintenance activities, like if you want to know about the cache hit ratio of your tables or buffer cache ratios, right? So here, the monitoring part. Now, when you talk about the migration, the one thing you want to do, either you want to exceed the Oracle performance or at least meet the Oracle performance when it comes to monitoring auditing, right? So we have used PG Stat Monitor, which if you are aware of it, how many are aware of PG Stat Monitor?
Is it an extension?
It's extension, yeah. I'm coming to that, yeah. So I think you will be aware of PG Stat statement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So PG Stat Monitor, it's an, if I call it in a layman term, it's like PG Stat Monitor, PG Stat statement on steroids, right? So it has multiple varieties of monitoring metrics that you can think of, right? So how it works is that it has a better data retention part. When I talk about data retention part, I'm talking about it captures your query statistics and retain it according to your needs, right? So you have a parameter that states, okay, fine, I want to allocate, let's just say 10 GB of data to my PG Stat Monitor, right? Now you divide those 10 GBs into multiple bucketized time series buckets. You will say, okay, if I want to have 10 buckets and each bucket will take, let's just say the time bucket is 1 hour, and I want to allocate, and you have allocated 10 GB.
See, every bucket, so it will be 10 buckets, 10 GB. So one bucket will have 1 GB. Now, this is how what you can do in pgstat monitor, which is missing in pgstat statements. And one more thing, why have we used pgstat monitor on top of pgstat statement is that it actually survives the database resets and restarts. So if the customer wants the data, like if they want to retain the data for 10 days, so if the DB has restarted in that time period, and you will lose that data and you won't be able to monitor, or you want to analyze the query performances if you want. So we wrote a custom script that actually uses the pgstat monitor and delivers you and .txt format report and the .csv as well.
Yeah, just to add, right? So we have a query execution plan embedded in the pgstat monitor as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a superset of pgstat statement. Again, it would be override in some of the conditions. So being wiseful in using that particular, because it would be dumped with all the metadata, right? So query execution plans also been added to that particular session.
So we have a glimpse of it. We'll have a double click on that. We have a few screenshots also for you guys. So we'll have a click on that.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So now the second part that we were talking about was the PG badge. Sorry. No, I'm talking about, yeah. So now the second part is PG Badger. Everybody knows, how many people know about PG Badger here? I think most of you know. Okay, so it's like you have an HTML, beautiful HTML. So this is for analysis. This is for analysis, and this is for monitoring, real-time analysis, and this is for monitoring, right? So this will provide you an HTML report, just like your AWR, right? So, and there it's very important for query pattern analysis, right? It provides you a pictorial representation of your query performance, what are your query patterns, where you can optimize it, what's the load, right? That helps you. So we have developed that also for the customer. Second and third thing, we have the PG toolkit, which is a customized, I would say, custom views for real-time analysis of about the very common DB activities that talk about the connection status or the memory usage and many other. And for the auditing purposes, we have used a PG audit, and you can actually you can control the level on which you want to audit, what kind of queries you want to audit. Do you want to audit the write queries, or do you want to audit the DDL queries or modification queries? That provides you that option. So here, this is the PG toolkit that we were talking about. So as you can see, we have, I think, 40 plus views here, starting from your DB database info, database size. So these are the small information that what has to be handy for the user, right? So we have provided a custom views for the user and the customer so that they can go through it, right?
Right. So these are the different kinds of views which we created with that particular description. So this is embedded in the menu. CLI menu. If they want to refresh, just pass the parameter and that would be called. Right? So in that way.
Yeah, so now this is I think this is the part that everybody was waiting for, right? Yeah, so this is the AWR report. So if you can see here, so we try to replicate the same part AWR in our CLI. So how does the framework work? Basically, you punch in you type in your timestamp. So now this timestamp, basically it actually maps back to your bucket, right? So as I told, I've created a bucket of 1 hour. So if you want to talk about, okay, I want to see, okay, from 9 to 10 a.m. what happened in that? What are the analysis in that? So now this is where our bucketize and time series bucket comes into play, and comes into play when you talk about pgstat monitor, which is missing in pgstat statements, right? So what a query does is that our CLI, so we wrote an bash script that actually leverages the pgstat monitor, queries it from the table, and then exports it in two forms, .csv and .txt. So as you can see, there's a screenshot from our laptop, and you can see that it generates exactly the same, the AWS statistics in terms of the SQL queries, right?
So basically,
Yeah.
you're querying the pgstat monitor repository.
The table, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So pgstat monitors created a repository in Postgre. And
Yes.
you
Exactly, yes.
That's good.
Yeah. So now here what happens is that suppose, as was mentioning earlier, you can actually set your the max shared buffer that it can utilize from the Postgres, right? So if I say I have set as 10 GB and I have 10 buckets, so every bucket will have 1 GB. Now what will happen if it exceeds that? So two things will happen. It uses an algorithm called LSU, right? I think most of you would know that, right? LSU, least significantly used, right? So if that memory exceeds at the bucket level, it will start rotating in the bucket level, right? Suppose, let's just say you have a bucket of 9 to 10, and in that time span, if the queries are exceeding, right, and then it will start the memory if it's exceeded 1 GB, which eventually it won't, but if it exceeds 1 GB, the oldest query data will get rotated with the newest one, right? Now what will happen in the table level if the things get exceeded, the memory gets exceeded. So the last bucket will get replaced by the newest bucket, time bucket, right? So that's the reason we have used the bucket, we have used pgstat monitor to actually adhere to the customer need of retaining the logs for 10 days, right? We could have used PG Badger for the same, but why we have used this is because if you know, to actually to make PG Badger work, it's a parsing tool, right? And it actually parses over the native logs of Postgres, right? And as I told, our customer wanted 10 days of retention. So you won't believe that for at least for 1 day, even for 1 day, we were used to get logs coming around, I think 8 GB for only this 1 day, right? So because to that to happen, the level of information that they want to trace, you have to actually alter the PG. If you are aware of it, there is something called .conf file in Postgres, which is postgres.conf, and you have to actually alter the log min statement, log statement, right? Log error min statement levels. So after doing that, so after doing that, we were seeing that we had so many logs just for 1 day, and it was coming up to 8 GB. And that's the reason we came up with a different solution. Now, I spoke about the admin CLI, right? There's one place where you can do all the administrative activities, right? It actually limits the use of database administrator to actually have a direct access to the database, right? So there's a sub CLI menu. We didn't have the screenshot of the main CLI menu, but there's a sub CLI menu that actually deals with all the health checks, right? So as you can see here, we have the DB corruption test that I was talking about, which uses the PGAM check. Now this actually works on the whole database level, not just it actually checks your tables, indexes, blotness, everything, right? So this, when you select any of these options here, right? So now under the hood we have around 30, 35, 40 scripts that have been converted from Oracle specific health scripts to the Postgres health scripts. Yeah, Postgres compatible. And some of them was a direct conversion when you talk about the Oracle to Postgres, but others we actually integrated those scripts, converted them into the customized views, and we added those views in the PG toolkit that we had showed you earlier, right? So as you can see, we have selected option 4 and it's been running, and all the logs, the corruption logs and all that has been stored in this location. Now the key takeaways, the key takeaways and results that I want to talk about is that we actually with this framework and the migration, there's a no-brainer that we have saved a lot of money for the client, right? And it is performance-wise also, when you talk about the monitoring and I think when Sai has told, right, the backup and the performance. I think if you want to talk about more about the traditional migrations, performance migrations, then we can take it offline. But yeah.
Yeah, I think just to
Yeah.
add, right? So just to add some of the interesting areas, right? So the main pain point was the cost reduction. So with that, that they got some trust that at least we can migrate the other business units, right? So that's the path forward, so that we get more heterogeneous migrations of the open source, right? And coming to the lightweight deployment. So as I said, right, the installation and what we call the backup and the application turnout time is being reduced in terms of taking long time. So it has been improved. And coming to the performance backups, right? So these are some of the statistics we captured during the customer use case, yeah, and as well as the security. See, the SSL security setup, which I said the parameters enabled or the updated in the PG conf, right? So that is being automated.
So as Sai has already covered, right? So there's no direct conversion of Oracle wallet to Postgres, but yeah, you can simulate it using the best practices and establishing an SSL certification connections, right? It can be pre-signed or non-signed certificates, right? So yeah, the key takeaways, as Sai has already told, that we have saved a lot of cost in terms of the licensing loyalty cost when I talk about Oracle as compared to Postgres, as it is an open source, right? Automations, SSL connection, maintenance scripts that I was talking about, we had more than 35 to 40 scripts that had to be converted either as a custom views in PG toolkit or as an equivalent Postgres scripts, compatible scripts. So yeah, so now as from migrating it, as Sai has told that it was it's a global scale customer, and we're not revealed to name the name, but so yeah, so I think we have made a good impact in this migration journey, and love to communicate our takeaways from here and what we on top of normal migration journey, what we have come across, and yeah, happy to share that. And if you want some other insights on the performance query tuning, so you can take it offline. Yep.
So just to have keep some focus, light on the second point, right? If you see the performance gain. So either it could be SQL or Oracle, right? So bulk inserts will take some time, definitely. But here, it's a good that we could achieve in Postgres with nearly 40% improvement. Because the key is that we committed the rows in a batch level. Right? It could be 10,000 or some set, so that the bulk inserts are faster and as well as the export to CSV. So the customer is currently having a functionality to export all the logs to CSVs. So they were running in what we call full transaction, so that we split that to batch so that it completes export fast, right, quickly.
We have time, right? Yeah. I think we have
Questions? Yeah.
Any part of it had CDC
No,
migration?
No.
No CDC?
No.
So the customer was down for a while and you took the...
Oh, you mean the online migration? No. So this is what you call at the POC. They want to compare the performance basically. So it's not a production thing. So they're going to take care of that production migration. But initially, the agreement was it should be either similar to Oracle performance, or they want to replicate the features in Oracle to Postgres basically, to see if that can be deployed across all their customer base to bring their applications up and with same performance. Data migration.
See, Oracle, we have ASH, active session history, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to do real-time monitoring per second. So could you achieve that out here? As in, like, let's say 2 o'clock in the night, a query goes down a lot. So was there any way that you could achieve that in Postgres and give a report immediately?
So
Immediately not.
So you're talking about monitoring there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Live monitoring.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. The PG start monitor, right? It's real time. It captures real time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be there. But you can actually, what you can do is that there's no notification per se, because it's an extension.
Yeah.
But you can write a cron job that actually runs like 5 hours, after 5 hours, every 5 hours, and actually reads from the PG start monitor table and then create notification.
But you've captured it.
Yeah. That can be done.
That's it.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like we have recommendations in Oracle, ADDM. So automatic database diagnostic monitor. So it gives recommendations based on the existing workload as to what your memory sizing should be, what your... Could you get that as
I think there's a PG tune.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can actually give in your you can actually
Workloads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Based
can
on the
give your
DB
workloads,
workload,
yeah.
we get the suggestions of the shared buffer
Yeah.
and the other parameters which can be modified.
Yeah,
So they're based on the workload.
Yeah, that's true, because I've seen a few websites wherein we could enter the server statistics and then it gives us
Correct.
this could be the size of your shared memory area,
Yes,
etc.
yes.
But something like Oracle has real-time workload monitoring, and then it gives you like now you should resize your buffer cache to so and so.
I think
size, that kind
the
of
same
stuff.
thing, right? Even we got the same challenge that the customer was saying it's automatic and it can handle. I mean, Oracle.
Right.
So here we used to we use the automation script, like I said, right?
Yeah.
So based on the existing VM configuration, whether it's a 32 gig or a 64 gig,
Yeah.
we have automation. I mean, shell script basically.
Yeah.
So it goes and converts or updates the parameters based on that configuration. It's a auto parameter tuning shell script which we had.
Okay.
So similar to the Oracle functionality, so that if they upscale the VM or it's been deployed to the higher RAM, it will be updated accordingly.
Excellent. That's good.
A couple of my sense here. If I may, the PG Tune extension we have is a very, very rudimentary tool. So it looks at the configuration of the machine and says that, hey, we've got 32 vCPUs and 48 GB RAM. It would give you a mundane set of parameters. But when you incorporate PG Tune, that's at a good starting point. But when you are looking at it, there's an extension called as Postgres Workload Optimizer, POA. You could work with POA and then look at the entire workload statistics and then probably engage with some Postgres SMEs and go about tuning your entire Postgres infra. Okay? There's another extension called as PG Buffer Cache, which helps you to say, hey, how many objects are being pinned in shared buffer, right? How do we go about leveraging, I don't know, do you have to increase the shared buffers or decrease the shared buffers, which requires a restart. So you'll have to plan that by looking at PG Buffer Cache. I guess somewhere Sai had that point as a matter of fact.
So we had those all extensions for each use case, so that we added to those particular use cases.
We'll have to actually look at it. Where is it?
Yeah, I mean, I know, and definitely we covered that.
Yeah, PG buffer. Yeah, I remember adding it in the file.
Yeah. Please share your feedback. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Just wanted to recheck again, though you mentioned it is open source, but the migration you did, it is on the RTX or the plain vanilla?
Plain vanilla.
And that's where you get the 40-50% improvement.
Yes.